All right, example 2. We have two equations again. So first thing we want to do is type them in the calculator. Home, new document, save changes, no, add the graph. Control divide is your fraction. 5/8 x minus control divide 3/11. Enter. Hit the tab button to type in the second one. Control divide 8/5. Now there's two equations, so that could represent a system or it could represent a comparison. So you have to read the question to find out if it says systems of equations, or it says comparison. In this case, it says compare. So I'm going to compare these two. The first one is the red one, and this is the blue. Okay, so when down here where it says P, that's P of X, that's the red one. Again, if you take time to just do this step right here, it's going to help you get this correct. And then blue. Now this is a type of question where you kind of have to read and understand, whereas a lot of the other questions you can kind of just look and solve, but this one you're actually going to have to read and look for the keywords. The graph of the red one has a different y-intercept than the graph of the blue one. So y-intercept is where it touches the y-axis. They both have exactly the same y-intercept, so that's false because this says different y-intercept. The graph of the red one is less steep. Remember, less steep means it's easier to walk up. So you say the red one is easier to walk up than the blue one. The red one will be harder to walk up, so that's false. The graph of the red one is steeper. That means it's harder to walk up. So the graph of the red one is harder to walk up than the blue, and that's true. And then the last one, the graph of the red one is parallel to the graph of the blue one. Remember, parallel means two lines that never intersect. So that's false because these intersect. So C is the correct answer. All right, here's one for you to try on your own, and then I'll go over it. So in this one, we only have one equation, but we're changing something. So we're changing, that's representative of a transformation. And so it says we're changing the slope. The original one has a slope of negative 3.5. The new one's going to have a slope of 1.5. So if I'm changing something, that means I have to write a new equation. So here's my slope. I'm changing it for 1.5x plus 12.8. Okay, so here's the original, here's the new equation, and down here it actually calls it the new function and original function. So I've already typed them in the calculator. The first one is the blue one. Okay, and the second one is the red one. So the original one is the blue one. So every time I see original, that's blue. And the new function is the red one. So that's the red. New, new, and new. Okay, so then when I read it, the graph of the red one intersects the x-axis at the same point as the graph of the blue one. And I can see here they graphed at the same place. Also, when I graphed, I clicked on this and I changed it to 20 so that I could see where the two lines crossed at, because I couldn't exactly see that when I first graphed it. Then, so that's true. They do cross at the same place. The graph of the red one intersects the x-axis at the same point as the blue one. That's not true. Here's the x-axis. They're at different points. The graph of the red one has a negative slope. The graph of the red one's going up to the right. That's a positive slope, so that's false and false. The graph of the red one has a positive x-intercept. Okay, the red one crosses the x-axis on the negative side, so that's also false. So A should have been the correct answer.